Hi everyone. Just recently I started reading the text of the course over again with a friend of mine. We were doing a study call each week, and we recently started the text over again, and I haven't started it from the beginning probably for a few years now. So I recently read over the what are these called? The Principles of Miracles. So chapter 1, it starts off with the meaning of miracles, and it lists 50 principles of miracles. So on this video, I just want to talk about the first 6. So the very first principle of miracles, straight out of the text of A Course in Miracles. Remember, I have the old book. Most of you are not going to have a hardcover like this. I really like this book, not only because it's old and thick, but also, as you can see, there's no numbers. And even though I purchased this when I was in my 20s and had no problem with my eyesight, as I've gotten older, I've become very appreciative of my text that has the larger print and no numbers. It's just easier for me to read. So anyway, if you're confused, your book is probably going to have a soft cover. It's probably going to have the text, the lessons, and the manual for teachers all in one. Also included in there will be the Song of Prayer and what's the other one called? Something about psychoanalysis. They're little tiny booklets that were added on later, full of wonderful, amazing information. And in the newer copies, decades old newer copies of the course, all of that's included all in one. So I have an old one where everything's separate. Okay, back to the principles of miracles. Number 1, there is no order of difficulty in miracles. One is not harder or bigger than another. They are all the same. All expressions of love are maximal. So what does that mean? That means, I know it sounds crazy because in our world, we think that there are levels of things. And that's not true. All that really exists is love or fear. That's it. Those are your 2 choices at all times. So there's no levels there. There's just this or that, fear or love. So when you choose love, it is the full maximal power of that love. And when you choose fear, it is the full maximal power of that fear. There are no levels. It's just one or the other. That's what it's telling you. So I know it can be really difficult to understand that in the world of form because you think, hey, wait a minute. So what the Course is telling us is that having a thought of like, man, that person really annoys me. That person's super annoying. And murdering that person is the same. According to the Course, it's the same thing. Those are both thoughts coming from fear. Whereas if you're, let's say, being friendly to someone and holding a door open for them, you're out in public for a stranger, you hold a door open for them. That's an expression of love. Or you spend a month, cleaning someone's house for them for free, a friend of yours, because they're going through a difficult time in their life, just as an example, right? That's it feels in the world of form like that would be a big give. It would be, a lot of love that we would be expressing to someone to do that, to take time out of our lives, to go and clean someone else's house in addition to our own out of love. So that seems like a big give. Where just holding the door open for a stranger seems like a little give. But really, they're both miracles coming from love. They're the same. There are no levels, according to the Course. Because remember, this world of form that we think we're in isn't real. It's just an illusion. Science has already proven this. If you go take a look at quantum physics, you will see nothing's really here. If you take a look at an atom, it's almost entirely empty space. And the only thing that is there is energy. Protons, neutrons, and electrons, energy. And the only reason it feels solid is because those electrons are spinning so quickly. It's an illusion. So science has already proven this. So all miracles are the same. There are no levels. Difficult to understand from the world of form, but once you understand what the Course is saying outside of the world of form, it makes a lot of sense. Principle number 2, miracles as such do not matter. The only thing that matters is their source, which is far beyond evaluation. Okay, so miracles do not matter. What does that mean? If this is A Course in Miracles and miracles are so important, how come miracles don't matter? It seems contradictory, doesn't it? It seems confusing. Well, it's because of the levels, different levels of form and content that we're talking about. The level of form is the world that we think that we live in, and the level of content is the truth, God, source, creation, truth. So miracles as such do not matter. The only thing that matters is their source, okay? So later, what the Course is going to explain to you is that miracles aren't even really needed. Miracles are just that bridge that takes us from the world of form, the illusion, the dream that we think we're in, and is a bridge. That miracle is a bridge for us to get to God, to get to source creation. So they're not even really needed. They're just there as a tool to remind us of the truth. So that's why it says in principle number 2 that miracles as such do not matter. Because remember, they're just that bridge. They're not even real. The only thing that matters is their source, because the only thing that's real is God's source creation. Nothing else matters. And then it says, which is far beyond evaluation, meaning that where we think we are in these bodies and in these minds with these egos, we are not even capable of evaluating God's source creation from this viewpoint, from where we are thinking that we're inside this body in this world of form. We are not even capable of evaluating source creation. So what the Course is constantly trying to tell us is, stop doing that. Don't bother. Because every time we try to evaluate it, analyze it, break it apart, figure it out, that's all ego. That's all our ego doing that. Now, that doesn't mean that ego is, terrible and we should throw the baby out with the bathwater at all times. No, I also don't advocate trying to make friends with your ego, because I don't believe in that, because that is not what the Course teaches. The Course teaches that the ego is at best suspicious and at worst vicious. It is not our friend. However, we think we're here. So we appear to have one of these ego things, okay? The Course is here to help us kind of work that out. How do I let go of the ego? How do I not listen to the ego? And how do I focus on truth, source, creation, love? That's what the Course is trying to teach us how to do. So what this second principle is telling us is, we are not capable of evaluating God's source creation. Miracles aren't even where the real treasure is. The real treasure is source. And miracles are just a way for us to remember source. So that is what the second principle says. Third one, miracles occur naturally as expressions of love. The real miracle is the love that inspires them. In this sense, everything that comes from love is a miracle. All right, that one's pretty self-explanatory. Miracles are expressions of love, period. That's it. There's nothing beyond that. Where do we get that love from? Where is that love being expressed from? From source creation, from God. That's it. Nothing else really exists. All right, number 4 says, all miracles mean life, and God is the giver of life. His voice will direct you very specifically. You will be told all you need to know. All right, so when it says all miracles mean life and God is the giver of life, that is the same as love. Life, love, God, source, creation, they're all the same. It's coming from the same place. So we want to focus on that place. That's what the Course is teaching us. His voice will direct you very specifically. Well, what does that mean, his voice? We're talking about God's voice, otherwise known as the Holy Spirit in A Course in Miracles. That's what they call it. That's the voice for God. Because remember, we think we're in this dream world. We think this world of form is real. We forgot that it's not, and we really came from source creation. That's our real home, but we forgot. So there's a voice for God that whispers to us and reminds us. That's Spirit's voice. That's Holy Spirit reminding us, this isn't real. You're really safe at home with God. That's what God's voice is always reminding us. So it says his voice will direct you very specifically. That means that that voice for God, Holy Spirit, is speaking to each one of us individually and specifically. We each have our own curriculum. Nothing is the same for everyone. We all have our own lessons to learn, our own earth school that we appear to be in. We really all live in our own separate holograms. We're all looking at life from our own perspective, from our own energy field, from our own hologram, our own point of view. And then, I mean, this is a side tangent. This is a whole nother video for another day, but literally we're all inside these holographic individual bubbles within the dream world that we live in. And we are just reprinting all the other people that we think that are in our life inside that hologram. So we end up seeing other people the way that we want to see them, the way our ego wants to see them, or if we choose Holy Spirit, the way Spirit wants to see them. But it's different for everyone. So that's why it's saying that his voice will direct you very specifically, because Holy Spirit will not speak to every single person the same way. We're all going to have different ways that Spirit nudges us, different paths to go down, different directions to go. We all have our own unique curriculum. So his voice, God's voice, will directly speak to you specifically for your life. We just have to listen. We have to learn how to listen. You will be told all you need to know. That's the last line of principle number 4, meaning don't evaluate, don't analyze, don't try to have it all figured out. Don't let your ego try to take control of the situation. Surrender, listen to Spirit, and Spirit will tell you what you need to know. This is a big part of surrendering. And this is a lot of what I've had to deal with recently in my life, because I've gone through so much trauma, because there's been so much uncertainty and chaos around me, because things that I would have normally thought of as my safety have been taken away or been threatened to be taken away, or at least that's my ego's perception. Okay. So as all this chaos is going on, for a while there, I was trying to figure out, like, what the hell's going on? Why is this happening? Why, what did I do to deserve this and to make this happen, right? Somewhat coming from ego victim mentality. For me at this point, I've done this for so long, practicing the principles of the Course, that I've said in other videos, I never fully believe in the dream. Typically, I'm typically aware that I'm dreaming as I'm living my life each day. And so one part of my mind is always observing things from A Course in Miracles point of view, just kind of sitting back and watching, like, what's this about? Let's watch how these egos all interact with each other, including mine. And, let's remind ourselves what egos do in this world of form, basically. And then when I've sat in enough pain, just speaking for myself, when I've sat in enough pain, and I decide that I want to get out, and then I start reminding myself of the truth. And then I have a different perspective that changes the vibration of my energy field, and that changes literally the hologram that I appear to live in. And suddenly, I'm at a higher frequency and I'm experiencing much more love. Or if I choose within my hologram to have a very negative point of view and focus on fear and not love, my hologram's energy field vibration will go down and I will experience much more pain. So we do have the choice of how to sort of navigate this hologram bubble that we all live in, our own perception, by what we choose to focus on with our mind. Now, again, I point to the brain. It's not really our brain. It's really an energetic field that's around us. So Spirit will speak to you specifically and individually. And once we learn how to listen, we can take Spirit's guidance and follow it. And we don't need to have it figured out. In fact, we're not supposed to have it figured out. Again, it says you will be told all you need to know. That can be hard for us because we want to control. We want to know now, we want to control. That's our ego. So it's a practice of letting that go. Principle number 5, miracles are habits. They should be involuntary. They should not be under conscious control. Consciously selected miracles can be misguided. To me, that line's actually funny. It's a funny joke from Jesus. Consciously selected miracles can be misguided. I feel like that is a very polite way of saying If you think your ego is going to perform miracles, you've been misguided. It's to me, it's, listen, everything in the Course can have many, many different meanings, and it all has a lot of different facets and levels to it. But to me, that one line is somewhat of a funny joke from Jesus making fun of us, him too, because he was a human at one point too, and our egos and how we, like to control everything and like to be in charge. So, miracles are habits. They should be involuntary. So the whole purpose of this course, it is a mind training program. You are training your mind how to deny ego and focus on spirit, how to deny fear and focus on love. That's what this mind training program is all about, learning how to focus on the truth. So as you go through this program and you do the daily lessons and you keep learning and learning, miracles become habits. That's the goal. Now, in the beginning, you really do have to think your way through it. In the beginning, when you first start practicing the course, and it can take, it's different for different people. Some people it'll take months, some people it'll take years. But in the beginning, the whole way to get started with all of this is to start identifying ego. Because in the beginning, we're not even aware of it. We're so used to letting our ego just take control. We haven't noticed how we rely on our ego so much and completely ignore spirit so much. We don't know yet. So in the beginning, it's really a practice of observation and just watching. Oh, there goes my ego again. Oh, I feel bad again. So I'm acting out of ego again, and just being aware and paying attention. And as you do that, and you catch yourself over and over and over again, because believe me, you will have hundreds of opportunities every single day to catch yourself being in your ego. As you catch yourself over and over again, here are the tricks. Don't judge yourself, forgive yourself, and use that moment as an opportunity to change your mind and to focus on love instead of fear. That is the exercise that the Course is teaching us, and that's how miracles become a habit. Because the more you practice what I just explained, that flipping from fear to love, the more you practice doing that, the more it eventually becomes a habit. You don't have to think through those steps anymore. So in the beginning, you will want to think through those steps. You want to start catching yourself. Oh, there's my ego again. Oh, there's my ego again. And you don't even need to feel like you have to fix it every time. Don't feel that way. You're judging yourself. We have to be kind and gentle with ourselves. If you think about, a young child or a baby, when a baby's first beginning to learn how to walk, when it tries to take some steps, the baby, and then falls down, we don't scold the baby. We don't tell the baby, oh, you messed up again. Look at you. No, we encourage the baby, and we know it's okay for the baby to keep stumbling until the baby learns how to walk without stumbling. That's okay. It just takes practice. It's natural. It's the same with us, with the Course. We're taking those baby steps in the beginning, and we are going to fall and fumble a lot. And that's okay. From each of those falls and each of those fumbles, we are going to learn. And that helps us make a habit out of switching our focus as we practice this. So that's why miracles are habits, and they should be involuntary. We should not be trying to control miracles. They should not be under conscious control. Consciously selected miracles can be misguided. Again, to me, a little joke from Jesus saying, if you let your ego take control, you're going to have a shit show. That's how I interpret that. I mean, obviously it has many meanings, like I said, but to me, Jesus has written a lot of jokes in this book that I find very entertaining. Okay, last one, principle number 6. Miracles are natural. When they do not occur, something has gone wrong. Okay, so wow, that kind of took us in a full circle, right? Because we went from being told, don't try to consciously control miracles. Don't try to, evaluate God. Don't try to do all these things. Just let it happen naturally. And then it kind of goes full circle and sums it all up in number 6, where it says miracles are natural. So what does that tell us? If miracles are coming from love and miracles are natural, That tells us that our natural state is a state of love. That's naturally who we really are. And everything that's coming from that state of fear is not natural. That's not who we really naturally are. That's ego. That's fake. That came out of fear of when we thought we left God and heaven. It's a mistake. It's a misthought. It's not real. That's why miracles are natural, because this course is teaching us who we naturally are and what's real. That's why this course is teaching us to deny the ego, deny the fear, let it go. Don't give it power. Don't believe in it. Focus on the love. That's what it's teaching us to do, because that is our real natural state. That's who we really are. And it says, when they do not occur, meaning miracles, naturally, something has gone wrong. Well, gosh, that's our whole lives, right? Something went wrong. We think we're here. We think we're in the world of form. We think we're in ego. We think we're suffering. We think we're being victimized. We think the world is being done to us. It's all a mistake. It's all wrong. It's not real. So the Course is teaching us, go back to what's real. Go back to what's natural. Go back to the love. And how do we get there? By simply denying the ego. We don't want to fight with the ego. We don't want to be afraid of the ego. That gives it power. It doesn't deserve any power. It's nothing. It's an illusion. So we're very kind and loving to ourselves as we notice that we're in our ego. And we just let it go. You know, like they teach you when you first start learning how to meditate, and they teach you about those thoughts, and the thoughts come and you just kind of let them go, poof, poof, or like clouds, they'll go passing. Same kind of thing. Every time you experience, either within yourself or you think you see it out in the world, some sort of fear, it's an opportunity for you to listen to the voice for God and be reminded of your natural state, everybody's natural state, the world's natural state is love. That's what the Course is teaching us. So those are the first 6 principles summed up. And I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, whatever time of day you're watching this. If you found any value in this, like, share, subscribe, comment. That helps the messages spread. And I'm sending love to all of you.